Hi guys, welcome to today's video. This is a video version of a blog post that I did that is really popular, and it's just a question a lot of people have, and it's whether or not you can grow plants with like normal artificial lights that aren't actual grow lights. The brief answer to this is yes, you can grow houseplants with lights that are, you know, just a normal like light bulb. I've not got any. The only light I've got in here is actual grow lights. But yeah, you can. So basically, the brighter the light, the more energy the plant can get from it. There is a lot of science here that I don't know and I'm not that interested. But in general, the brighter the light, the more light you'll get. So the grow lights have got a lot of LEDs and they are very bright. And that's why they're grow lights. There's nothing like magic about the type of light. It's just very bright. So the brighter your lamp light is, the more your plant will be able to grow. But the difference between a normal LED light and a grow light, and this is just from, I think just like literally the number of diodes, there's just a lot more diodes, is a lot. So there's a lot of different ways to measure lights. I tend to use lumens because I don't know a lot about it, and I know that lumens, like briefly, like broadly, means brightness. But there's like lumens and lux and like there's wattage and there's loads of ways to measure it, but I tend to go with like lumens. And the cheap grow lights, have I got them? I've not got them up, I don't really use them anymore. The cheap grow lights, they're not like, the difference between, right, these aren't like professional grow lights. They are more professional than like the cheap grow lights, you know, like the gooseneck ones you get that clip on. They're more professional than that, but they're not like, they're kind of the one before you get to like the really professional ones. So they're more for like a home gardener, for like growing seedlings and stuff, but they do work really well on houseplants. So the light I've got, that one, is brighter than that one. It's probably, right, I highly recommend both of them. That one's more expensive and a lot brighter. That one is plenty bright but cheaper. They are about 22,000 lumens. That one, I don't know what that one is. Slightly less, maybe let's say like 10,000. That's 22,000 lumens. The best light bulb I found was 450. So whilst that light bulb was really bright, and it would help if you had a really dark room and you wanted to put a light, this isn't a grow light, it's a normal bulb. You put it in your lamp and you put a plant underneath it, that would help it grow. It would definitely keep it alive, and it might grow a bit. It's not going to thrive. They thrive under grow lights. They grow really fast, they grow really big. You get, if you've got variegated plants, you get better variegation. I've got a video next week on like a plant tour, but just the ones under my grow lights, maybe like a few others around here. The variegation I've noticed on my pink princess is a lot higher. She's got thrips, so the leaves keep falling off, but you know, when I get rid of those, she'll be sorted. But I've also got a philodendron squamiferum, which is the one with the really hairy petioles. The new leaves are coming in white. I'm not saying this is a good thing because the white leaves won't survive, but if you're looking to increase variegation, grow lights are a really good way to do that. I'll be talking more about them in those videos, but so far I'm yet to see downsides to them other than the initial cost, in terms of like cost to run and stuff like that. Great. So yeah, if you have, say, a dark bathroom or just like a dark alcove in a room, you can definitely just, you don't need to buy grow lights, you can just use a normal light, but you will be limited on the type of plant that you could grow. So something like a pothos would probably do absolutely fine. It's not gonna, it might grow, especially in summer, and it might not be necessarily unhealthy, but you're not going to get the same results that you get with a lot of natural light or a grow light. But if you're just looking to like brighten up a dark corner, if you go for a plant that's happier in low light and you put a lamp there, you might have great results. I can't advise on like what specific plant you would have, because I'm in a lot of houseplant Facebook groups, and every time somebody says, you know, what can I put in this spot, and it's like, you know, 5 miles underground in a cave, and there's always somebody like, oh, I put a philodendron Brazil there and it's thriving. I'm not saying they're lying, because some plants are really, really healthy and they love to grow and they can eke out the tiniest bit of energy from like the tiniest bit of light and use that. Other plants will just drop down dead. There's too many variables. If you've only got a little bit of light but you manage to increase the humidity, that'll help the plant, because you want it to be warm, humid and bright ideally. But if you can keep the warmth and the humidity up, the plant will be able to eke a little bit more energy out of that light, because it won't have to worry about its leaves drying out and stuff. It's almost like it's more worth it for the plant to grow. If you're looking at getting a grow lights make plants grow. You know what I mean. There's a difference between a grow light and just using a lamp to keep a plant alive. If you want fast growth and you want your plants to thrive, LED lights, regular ones, probably aren't going to cut it in like a darker spot. You can definitely use them to improve. If you've got, say you've got a bright corner, but it's only bright for a couple of hours a day, you can definitely like eke out that brightness by putting a lamp on. But you're not going to get the same results, because like I said, the brightest light bulb was 450 lumens that I could find. They're usually more around the 100, 200 mark, and that thing's 22,000. It's a lot brighter. I mean, that'll blind you if you looked at it. I swear, like, I always find it annoying because you have to hang them. It's probably because if you had it another way, if you hadn't like clipped onto something, you'd end up like blinding people. So it's probably just like a safety as much as anything. Plus also you can get more plants like underneath it. That's another thing so for grow lights to be effective, you have to have them quite close to the plant. And if you have a not particularly bright light bulb, just like a normal light bulb, you'd need to have it really close to the plant, and it would probably, so those things have got a range of like a meter square underneath. You wouldn't have that with just a normal light bulb. It would need to be close and pretty much directly under. But like I said, if you have one lamp and you want a plant underneath it, that would probably work perfectly well, depending on the plant. Obviously you're not going to want like a succulent or something under there, but something, a syngonium will probably do fine. This is currently on my windowsill because it used to be really long, and this is the one, if you follow me on Instagram, it looked dead. I'll put a photo in if I've still got one. It looked dead, and then it's recently just started to come back to life. I think this needs to be rooted. Yeah, I'll just stick that in there and root it. But yeah, this is just enjoying some light for now whilst I've got it, but it normally lives like way back there and is perfectly happy. So yeah, in short, LED lights, if a bulb produces light, it will produce energy for a plant that a plant can absorb, but not as much as something that's actually designed for that. And there's nothing, as I said, there's nothing magic about grow lights. They are just a lot brighter. And because they're a lot brighter, there's more LEDs in them. They tend to also create a bit of warmth. So that creates a little microclimate around your plants. As I said, there's a video next week, but I massively recommend grow lights if you want to grow your plants quickly, or if you're just interested in the way plants grow. They are not aesthetically pleasing. They probably could be if you were better at setting stuff up and home decor than I am, but I'm moving next week, so like it's not really high my priority at the moment. But the results are like extremely quick, and I don't even have them on that long. I have them on maybe 6 hours a day, more when I'm off work, less when I'm at work, because I don't like leaving them on when I'm not here. So yeah, if I left them on 15 hours a day, I would probably be living in a jungle. But yeah, highly recommend. But if you're looking for like an aesthetically pleasing setup, look for a light with a very bright one. Lumens is as good a measure as any. If you know a better measure, or you can decipher the specs on a bulb, please leave the information below. I'm very interested. I just find all the numbers a little bit much. And there's also a lot of arguments. Some people say you've got to look at this, and other people say you've got to look at that. And I'm like, but somebody said like lumens is brightness. I'm like, well, that's what I'm after. So that's what I look at. I'll leave the article below that I wrote, because I kind of went on Amazon and found the bulbs with the kind of the brighter bulbs. They do, generally the brighter bulbs, they are more expensive, but they also tend to last longer. I found that they're kind of an investment. A lot of people look for Kelvin when they're looking at bulbs. Kelvin is basically the colour. I can't remember which way it goes, but it's basically like a cool white and then a warmer white. These are actually really cool. They just look warm because I've got yellow wallpaper. But they're adjustable. If you're looking for a grow light, buy a grow light. again, in the article, there's like little mini reviews of the ones that I've got. I am really impressed. I was sent them, but I'm happy to recommend them. I've got a cheaper one and a more expensive one. The more expensive one is better, but the cheaper one is like half the price. I want to say it's like 60 quid. Really, really good. So yeah, they're linked in the article, and I would highly recommend both of them. You'll get really fast results. But if you're just looking for, you've got a dark corner and you want to stick a pothos on it, put it next to a lamp. You will need to keep the lamp on for a long time. For if you see the plant failing, keep it on longer, and you may cycle through a few plants until you find one that's strong enough to live there. If it's a really dark area, if it's only dark, like if it gets a bit of sun, you'll probably be absolutely fine. Obviously pick a plant that prefers lower light. If you've got high humidity, then you might be able to go for something like a fern or a calathea. They typically don't like that much light, so they will grow better if they have more light. It's interesting, there's some plants I have that I've kept in a really bright spot. I will go through it next week. So I have a Pilea peperomoides. Wherever I put her, she would not grow. The only place she grew was on this windowsill, which is west facing, gets quite a lot of sun. So I keep like my variegated rubber plant on here. She's growing really, really well. She loves it here. Ponytail palm grows really well here. It's a bright windowsill and she grew, but it was too bright for her. So the leaves were going red, because it's like the leaves go red, it's a stress response to too much light. But if I put her anywhere that was just a bit darker, she wouldn't grow. Put her under the grow lights and she's growing like a weed, because there isn't like the heat, the burning, searing. The sun's quite hot, if you didn't know. The grow lights, it's warm under there, but it's not like the sun, it's not like burning hot, it's constant, it's not. So here, when the clouds move and then it's magnified through the window, there's just a lot of outside influences. It's more controlled under there. And that's what you would find with an LED light. It's the same thing, but you would need to keep it on for a long time for it to have, if you wanted your plant to grow a lot, it would need more light for longer. But having said that, if you're using an LED light, especially one that's not as bright, it would be cheaper to run. These are not expensive to run. I was actually really, really pleasantly surprised. My boyfriend has one of those apps. He has an app from our energy supplier on his phone, so he can see our energy usage is pretty constant, because we're people of routine. So we would have seen if they would have made a difference, and they really didn't. So that's one great thing. And obviously they would make more of a difference because they've got more LEDs, they use more power. But it's just a tiny amount. So obviously something with fewer LEDs uses even less. That make any sense. It's a lot more coherent in the article, so just read that. Anyway, I hope that was helpful, if not a bit gabbled. I feel like I just said the same thing over and over again. Yes, LED lights work fine, just not as well as like a grow light. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and come back next week and I will have the tour of the plants that live under there. Okay, thanks, bye.